Hello, and welcome to the Solvang Library Crafternoon. I'm Mr. Zack, and we're going to be doing some crafts today. Last time we did 3 crafts with cereal boxes. This time we're going to do 3 crafts with egg cartons. So this should be fun. This will be good. We're going to discover these together as well. And we're going to do starting from very simple, ranging up to pretty complex. We're gonna try some high flying action, and we'll see what happens. So thank you for joining me today. So the materials that we're going to need are going to be egg crates. I have a couple here that I've been saving up. Decorating supplies. I'm just using some pens today. Craft knives or a pair of scissors. Pipe cleaners if you can find them. If not, you can wrap wire with tape or duct tape to create shapes to thicken them up a little bit, like a coat hanger or something like that. If you want to use that, it can make some more fun shapes. You just wrap the tape around that just to make it a little bit more exciting. For cutting the pipe cleaners, I have a multi-tool, but if you have a pair of wire cutters or something like that, should work. A ruler, as always, because there's always something you need to draw a straight line. And say tape already? Some tape or a hot glue gun. I'm going with tape because it's faster for these purposes. But if you want to go with a hot glue gun, that works too. Those are very exciting. So those are the basic materials that we're going to need. Before we get started, I want to say congratulations to everybody who's doing a great job on the summer reading right now. We've been handing out and mailing out a ton of prizes to you guys. I see them every time I go into the library. Stacks of postcards going out to you guys. So you guys are doing a really good job with the summer reading. So that's really awesome to see. Congratulations to you. You're doing a great job. And believe me, we all see it, and we're all really proud of you guys when we see how much you're reading. So it's been really good to see. All right, so let's get to crafting. So we're going to start with, I have 2 types here. One is kind of more angular, and the other one is more rounded. For this one, let's try the angular one. So the first thing we're going to do for this craft is we're going to cut one of these kind of egg-shaped pods off, and that's going to create the body for what we're making, which we'll see in a second. Now I'll do it twice. I'm going to do one with a craft knife. And again, kids, if you're doing this is definitely something you want your parents to be handling. And then once they're done, they can complete this for you. So we're going to use this craft knife to cut this one pod off. And then I will do another one with a pair of scissors just so we can see that we can really do either way. But this, for me, is a little easier just because it's a little more precise. And that's how I like to work when I'm making it up as I go along. All right, let's see how we do. We're going to do good here. We're going to do extra good. Yes. Okay, so there's our little pod. And then we can clean it up a little bit if we want. And I'll do that with the scissors. Okay, I'm going to clean the ragged edge of this pod to make it even with a pair of scissors. And this stuff is really nice. One of the reasons these crafts are so great is because this stuff is so easy to work with. It's basically just like cardboard. So it works up pretty nicely. So there we have a nice clean edge. And now we can decorate it. And what are we going to decorate it, you may ask? Well, that's the first project. The first project is we're going to turn this into a bug. So that's what the pipe cleaners are for. So let me cut one of these out with the scissors just so you can see that we're able to do that as well. Just for an example. And so we're not feeling limited to the materials that we have at hand. We want to try and do as much as we can with what we've got in the house, because that's what we're working with these days. We don't have a lot of resources. We're not able to get out. We're all trying to stay safe and stay at home when we can. See how easy this stuff is to work with? Okay, so we got the other one off pretty easily with a pair of scissors. And again, we can just go through and clean that up. when we need that. We might use this guy for one of the next projects. We'll see. I kind of like the round ones for the next project. And that's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a good one. That one will work for you for more story times coming up too. Okay, so now we have our little thing, and let's get out some markers and decorate. So let's just draw a little face on this guy to create our bug. Couple of eyes and a little bug mouth. He looks like he's frowning. That's not good. There. There's a little smiling bug. All right, so if you have other decorating materials, please feel free to use them. I think paint, like tempera paints or any kind of, water-based paints would be good to work with this. I'm not doing that right now just because it takes a little while to dry, and I want to kind of keep these projects moving. So I'm going to do this on the much more basic level, as you can probably see. But then it just gives you the idea of how you can decorate it from here. So we have now our face and our body, and we're going to take our pipe cleaners, and we're going to roughly find the center of that. I'm going to say it's about right there, and I'm going to bend it to fit in there. And then once I have that, bugs have 6 legs, 3 on each side. So once I have one, I'll just use that as the guide for the next one. Boom, 2. And the guide for the next one. Boom. Okay. So now we have our legs. So this is where a hot glue gun might come in handy. I am just going to do tape again because it's a little handier and speedier, and I don't have to plug in a roll of tape. So we're taking our tape now, and we are going to tape it into the body, taping the legs into the body of our bug. And then we just give them a couple more bends. If you certainly wanted to do 8 legs, you could do a spider, because this is giving me definite spider vibes. But, right now we're just making an orange-footed grass jumper. That's this bug. I don't know if you've heard of those. They're coming out a lot now this time of year. Because they like the summer grass. So you might see an orange-footed grass jumper if you're out in a park. You never know. Just keep your eyes out for them. They jump very quickly, though, so they're hard to catch. All right, so there's our bug. Very simple, but a great opportunity for decorating. And you can see on my hand. And if these are too long, again, this is the opportunity where we can jump in, just give them a little nail trimming. And oh yeah, that's much better. He's going to be so much more comfortable now. Look at this. He's going to be one happy bug. And again, you can do this with wire cutters. You might be able to do this with a pair of sturdy scissors, but make sure that you're not, damaging your scissors. That's probably a little cleaner. It looks a little better as a bug. So there's a bug. Another variant, another option that we have is taking another pipe cleaner and bending it in the middle. And we can tape that inside. We're still going here with the tape. And then once we have that in there, we can bend this up to make the bug eyes. So that if you don't draw the bug eyes, you can make this the eyes and the antenna. There's a little bug. So this is something for you and the kids to do. You can let them decorate the body, and then you can attach the legs, and then you can create a little forest scene, or a little scene of what do you find under the log. You find some orange-legged grass jumpers. So that's craft number one, making a bug. So like I said, you can use pipe cleaners. You can use wire hangers if you want to bend them up. Maybe cover them with some yarn or some tape to bulk them up and give them more of a leg feeling. And you kind of have endless possibilities with the decoration. So that's craft number one. So craft number two, as we put our bug aside, is nicely interactive, and this is a fun one for the kids. And I think this is one that you'll be able to use for a while. And it's actually a good learning one too, because it's especially for pre-literacy and things like that. It's an opportunity to kind of learn listening skills. So we're going to we're taking the round ones now because I feel like these might work better for this purpose. So I'm going to cut out a couple of these. You see the trend of basically a lot of these projects are cut out these cups because they're pre-made and they're great shapes. So it's kind of like you just kind of, again, like with the cereal boxes, you just kind of stare at it and go, hey, what's something that we could do with this shape, and then you let your imagination go, and then you find new uses for what's in your home, and it kind of enriches our lives because we're able to see more of what's around us. So we don't need to trim this guy up too much because we're actually going to take two of these and we're going to put them together kind of to make a new egg shape, and you'll see why in 1 second. If I can do this quickly, again, working with a craft knife, always be careful, be aware of where your other fingers are, especially if you're supporting and then cutting in. Go slow, take your time. There's no rush. We're just crafting. It's okay. Okay, so now we have two of these out. Put the knife in a safe place. So I'm going to take, excuse me. I'm going to take these two guys and see the best way to get them to fit together so that they can create kind of a whole thing without any gap. So I'm thinking something like, let's see, they're complicated. So I'm going to keep trimming these guys up. So this is what we're going to do is we're going to keep trimming them, and until we can kind of find a common seam that they can then join up on. And we don't want any gaps. Like this is a big gap. So we're going to see how we can do this without that big a gap. And I think we can do this one. It's a complicated one. We'll make it work. We're going to go a little excessive with the tape on this one, I think. This is another opportunity for a hot glue gun to hot glue these together, but I don't think that we need to do that, and I think the tape works. But before we do that, this is an opportunity to decorate, excuse me. So let's just do a little decorating on these, and it's just going to be very simple designs. It's just very festive because these are going to be festive items. Let's see if I can use, I'm going to use two different ones because I think that one got a little too small. So you'll see what we're going for, and you'll see that because of it's an egg crate, we have a lot of resources. So we can, if we get one wrong, it's okay. We'll just pull another pod and we'll use that to decorate. All right, we have some really basic decorations. Again, you can take your time with this. This is the part where the kids can get into the act, as it were. Okay, this one's fitting together a little better. So we're fitting this together with as few gaps as possible. And then we're going to cover this seam with tape. The reason is because inside, rice. So we're going to put a little rice And then we're going to join this guy up. Again, either using tape or hot glue. So yeah, if you're hot gluing it, there's your seam. Again, you can clean this up. Take your time with a pair of scissors. I am going to be taping it, so I have different tolerances. And again, your decorations, you can make them match, and you can do names on them. Where's my tape? There's my tape. All right, once we have our tape down, which is going to hide our decorations for now, but we can always decorate on top of it. And I'm not doing the cleanest job because I just want to show you guys how to do it. Okay, so it looks a little funky right now, but we can always polish it later. So now what we have is a shaker. And this is great for pre-literacy because it's teaching the kiddos rhythm, listening. Excuse me, it's teaching interaction with music. So if you make a couple of these and you have them on hand and their favorite song comes on, they can shake along with it, and suddenly the interaction with the music becomes different. This is something that you can keep on hand when Miss Diane, who helps out with story times, she shows up once a month. Miss Diane does all kinds of music on our story times. So if Miss Diane is doing music and you got your shaker, you can shake along to what she's doing, and everybody's interacting. Everyone's part of the act. So that's another thing. This one is super easy. This one, obviously, we needed the pipe cleaner and the wire or something like that. This, we basically needed some rice and some tape. I know it looks a little funky, but we can definitely make this look better. But this is super simple, and then you're off. You're off and making music. And it's not too offensive in terms of the music. It's not too loud. If someone's got a hold of it and wants to be shaking the shaker all day, I don't think it's that bad. There are other instruments that might be a little harder to take. So that's number 2, is the shaker. So now we're on to number 3. And number 3, excuse me. This is good. Excuse me. I might be nervous because number 3 is a big deal. Let's see what we can do. Okay, number 3 is where we're going to get aerodynamic, and that's where we need some cardstock or heavier cardboard, like from the cereal boxes, or a piece of paper can work too. We are going to first take this piece of paper, and we are going to cut a rectangle out of it. And you'll see where we're going from there. So the first thing I want to do, take my pencil and my ruler, and I'm going to draw this rectangle, and I'm going to make this one, I'm going to make it 1.5 inches wide. And we'll see how important precision is here. I think it's relatively important because we are creating, and I'm going to make it 6 inches long. We are creating a flying machine, and I feel like that's kind of where precision is important. I don't know why. Okay, so now we have our rectangle drawn, and now I'm going to cut it out with a pair of scissors. You could use a craft knife for this, but scissors are probably quicker. I'm very excited about this one. Let's see if we can make it work. Okay, the reason that I made this 6 inches long is because now that we have our rectangle, halfway, we need something halfway. We need something halfway across this way, and halfway down we need to make a line. So that was 1.5 inches wide. So that means 3/4 at 3/4 of an inch. And then 3 inches down, which is 1/2 of 6. So for when the kids are doing this with you, this part of the project is kind of the adult portion of the project, but again, I think you can be talking about what it is that you're doing and why. And this is a more advanced project anyway, so the kid might be interested in the why of it. So speaking of whys, kind of made a why. We're going to take this, sorry, trying to get on both cameras, and then we're going to fold it down in opposite directions. You see what we're going for? We're making a helicopter, right? So this is where it gets exciting. So we're going to take this helicopter, which normally I think you just need to weight it with a little something, a paper clip or a brad or something like that. But right now there's no weight, so it's not going to fall right. So I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. This is just an experiment, so we'll see how necessary it is. This portion is going to fit into our helicopter body, which is going to be one of these. So let's cut out one of these. Again, look at all these resources. We've had 24 of these. We've used 3 so far. We're doing great. Oh, well, 4, but this one got chewed up a little bit. But again, and then these will dissolve. You can use these to sprout seeds, which is nice. I know a lot of people will sprout seeds in those in the early spring, so you can hold on to this stuff, and it is a handy thing to have. And then anything that you don't use to sprout seeds, you can make shakers and helicopters and bugs out of. And more. And the bugs, you can, that's a project that can get even larger too. You can line a few of these guys up and make a caterpillar. Or you could make a train if you wanted. If the little ones are into trains, you could decorate it like a train or something like that, that you can kind of make it relevant to the little one's interests. Because again, this stuff is so adaptable. Okay, so that totally looks like a helicopter to me. I don't know about you. So let's put a little windscreen on that so that we can see out of it. All right, so that's how the pilots can see out of the helicopter. And then every helicopter needs a code number. So this is number 3. And now, okay, so we've got this, and this is going to fit in there. So I'm going to mark this across. Man, if this works, how happy are we going to be, right? Just going to enlarge this hole a little bit. Okay, look at this. And then we're going to get the trusty tape out. Did I not make that? It's like we meant to do it, right? Looks like a helicopter. I'm pretty excited about this, guys. I think we're going to do good. Where's my tape? There's my tape. A good working environment is always important. Stay organized. But we are making 3 crafts today, so there's a lot going on here. All right, just taking the tape. So you've seen that I put that through the slot, bent it over so that it can, there it is, lock in. And then I'm going to take this tape just to make sure that those are there. Okay, so let's do a test run. I know it's hard for you to see, but I'm going to, okay, that didn't work. It just fell straight down. So let's see. I think it's too heavy. So this is where the trial and error comes in. And we can keep experimenting. And that's part of the fun. Seriously, I mean, if you're doing with the little ones, this is part of the fun of this, because I think, again, a good lesson, and believe me, I have to tell myself this all the time, is it doesn't have to work the first time. There's a lot of opportunities to polish what we're doing and keep dialing it in, keep adjusting. And that kind of resilience is very important. And in terms of crafting, because a lot of this stuff, it's the first time we're ever doing it. First time you do it, it's probably not going to look exactly like it looks on Pinterest. So you try it once, you try it like what we're doing. You got tape all over your shaker, but you know now that it works. You go, oh, maybe too much rice. So next time, less rice, and I won't need all this tape, and then I can decorate it better. But the first time, you're just trying it. It's okay to be resilient. It's okay to keep trying. Okay, we're still falling straight down here. So, okay, I'm gonna adjust on the fly because I really want to see this work with you guys. Let's try one more thing. Let's try going with regular paper, because I think the cardstock was maybe a mistake. And that's what we learned. We're just working and learning on the fly. So, regular piece of paper now. Same as before. I'm going to go an inch and a half across. Ooh, all right. 6 inches down. Oh, that was a terrible line. See, rulers. Rulers are important. It's like we know what we're doing. Look at this. And then while I'm here, I'm going to mark my 3/4. 1, 2, 3. And this is another part of this project that's good for the little ones is using a ruler and learning how to use all the markings on a ruler. As we're going through this, you can even hold the ruler and say, okay, you don't have to make them measure, but if you're like this, this is how we read a ruler now. It's like, we look at, here are the quarters, eighths, sixteenths. A lot of rulers will go into the 30 seconds. And it's just getting somebody used to that process of how to read a ruler. And then we just start thinking about the world differently because now we know how to measure stuff. And we know when we hear somebody call out a measurement, we go, oh, you know what? I know what that means. I remember being a kid in elementary school and someone was talking about somebody's age and they're like, oh, they're like, 11 3/4. And I was like, yeah, well, so-and-so is like, 11 6/4. And they're like, oh, that's impossible. That's not possible. Because I was thinking quarters like quarters, like we were making change from $1. I'm like, of course you can have 6 quarters. You can have someone made change. It's 6 quarters. So the more we think about this, the more we learn about how rulers work and fractions and things like that. And the everyday, it's not even necessarily like stuff that's applicable to math, but it's just like, what is it like on the everyday level? Okay, now we have our paper, lightweight paper. Let's try this again. I have high hopes for this one, right? You guys feeling good about this one? Okay. All right. Okay, test run. Oh, that was better, wasn't it? Okay. Same helicopter, trusty number 3. It just needed some different aerodynamics. It's all good. We're fine. Going straight through that slot again. We're inside. It's going to get bent over to that tab and then new piece of tape. This is like a show about masking tape. We should do masking tape next. If you guys have any requests for what crafts to do or materials to work with, let us know on Facebook or give the library a call. And we'll see what we can do because masking tape could be fun. 20 things you can do with masking tape. Okay. It worked. I know it's hard to see. But once it gets toward the ground, I'm going to stand up, try it again. Here we go. Were you able to see it? All right, it worked. I hope you could see it. If you couldn't see it, make it, and then you'll know that it worked. So the trick was regular paper, not, thank you for the comment. All right, so regular paper, not the heavy stock, and we trimmed it down a little bit, and just tape it in and decorate your helicopter. And this thing is a hoot. And if you want to, you can also make the body a little bigger and turn it into like a helicopter pod. You could, you might try and make a helicopter bug. It might be a little too heavy. That's maybe, oh, there's the new idea, right? This is how this stuff develops. We're just like, we're sitting around, we're like, well, okay, this cardstock was too heavy, but it might not be too heavy for the helicopter bug. So if you try that and it works, you let me know, okay? Because that's what I want to know. I want to know how you guys are using this stuff. So that is 3 crafts with an egg crate. We got our bug. We got our shaker. Keep this one handy for Miss Diane. We have more music coming with other performers for the summer reading program in coming up soon. I will see you next week for story time, a very special story time having to do with pets. So stick around for that, and there'll be more information about that one on Facebook coming up earlier in the week. So, okay, so I'm sorry, we got our shaker. Keep this one around, and then the helicopter. We got it right. See, a little trial and error, and then we got it. It works again. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for being safe when you're coming to the library. It's great to see you guys when we can, picking up your holds. You guys are doing a great job wearing your masks, being safe, taking care of yourselves. Thank you for taking care of yourselves. Thank you for caring for others. And we will see you guys soon. And I will see you next week for Crafternoon and all kinds of good stuff coming up on Facebook Live with the Solvang Library. I'm Mr. Zack. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.